A lot of people like to think that the cause of their anxiety and depression, the thing that's actually at the root of it from the very source, is something related to their genetics, their biochemistry, their hereditary lineage, or something going on in their external environment. A lot of those potential sources that people are looking at miss the bigger point, however. And one way to be able to look at the cause that creates a sense of depression on a long-term basis, as well as periodic episodes of anxiety, tends to come down to two major things. The one situation that could be occurring is you simply have a certain state of expectations about how life is supposed to be right now that are not being met. Okay? And so the two sides of this equation, the two potential causes of the consistent chronic emotional pain, is on the one hand, you could have a set of expectations that are necessarily out of date or unfair to yourself, or are not necessarily allowing you to feel like you are winning at the game of life. Okay, so for example, I've had clients who feel that they are a complete failure in business unless they are making $10 million a year. Well, if you have that type of belief system, right, if you have that type of model of the world, then you're going to have a very difficult time feeling as if you ever are enough. You're going to have a very difficult time being grateful for all of the wealth that you do have. You're going to have a very difficult time being present, being able to simply allow your mind to shut off and not be running constantly. And you're also going to be just a simply troubled and tortured soul, because you're going to be consistently nagged at by that piece of your belief system that may not actually make sense in reality. Right? Is it really true that you cannot be fulfilled until you have $10 million a year? Perhaps for you, that's a standard you really want to hold yourself to. But is it worth having a lifetime of no joy? Right? I've actually seen people in that situation. Now, it may not be $10 million for you. It may be that next promotion. It may be that title. It may be that corner office. Okay? It may be anything in your life. Okay? It could be that next house or moving out of state or whatever the case is. But if you put yourself in a position where your belief system says, I'm only going to allow myself to feel fulfilled once I have this next thing down the line, then you've actually fallen onto what we call the hedonic treadmill, right? Meaning that no matter what comes down the line, you're going to continue to create a belief system that says the next thing is what's necessary in order for me to feel fulfilled. And so you've essentially put yourself on the treadmill, you've got this shiny carrot in front of you, and you're getting no closer to it, because even if you make any steps towards it, you're going to pull it farther away. That becomes a big problem. So if you have a belief system that is keeping you from being able to experience fulfillment with your current life circumstances, that could be one of the problems. Now, the second mirror image of the potential cause of the depression going on an ongoing basis, as well as anxiety, is perhaps your life conditions very truly don't meet your belief system and the standards you want to hold for yourself, and the conditions need to change. Okay, so maybe you've been unemployed for a period of time, and you know that that's not who you hold yourself to be. You know you're of more value to the marketplace and to yourself than that, yet the circumstances don't yet match what your internal beliefs say about who you are. If you feel that gap and that mismatch, that is what creates continuous emotional pain. It is always one of these two sources at the very, very bottom of it all. You either have an outdated belief system that needs to get updated to allow yourself to feel fulfilled, or you need to raise your standards. You need to take some new action, you need some new strategy, you need to create different results in order to create a better symmetry between what your expectations are of your life and what your life actually looks like. And there's no place that bears this dynamic out more so than professionalism in your career. So it's something to keep in mind. The thing I want you to reflect on is, what expectations might you be holding yourself to that just don't make sense anymore? And then on the flip side, what expectations are you looking to hold yourself to that you simply have just not been following through on? Then now it's time to raise the standard. Now it's the time to get non-negotiable with those types of things. Regardless of what that means, whether it's getting some help, whether it's going out and just taking some new action, right? Whatever the case is, what do you need to do to create a symmetry between what your model of the world says are your expectations of how life should be and how life actually is? Because so long as there is an existing chasm between those two, you're going to have a poor emotional quality of life.